Welcome, guys, today to my recap and review of episode number 3 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Asset. Anyway, guys, you know the deal. There are going to be spoilers in this review. Um, if you have not seen this episode yet, I would recommend you watch the episode before you see this video. Or if you just want to get caught up and get spoiled, get caught up to where you can watch the fourth episode, which should be premiering or is going to be on tomorrow, which is Tuesday night at 8. So, anyway, guys, this episode is the episode where we get introduced to Dr. Franklin Hall. Anyway, as we start the episode, uh, we see a heist. Anyway, we come up with the truck driver, an undercover S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and he is hauling some very valuable cargo. Um, and it seems he is being attacked, and this driver gets attacked. The the scene is very well shown, everything like that, and we get to see Dr. Franklin Hall say, "Are we there yet?" But anyway, as we come on from this, Shield, they have to go investigate this, uh, whatever, and Fitz and Simmons come and they investigate, and they discover that something very dangerous. Uh, as we move along, we are introduced to Ian Quinn. After we uh, discover the source, trace the sources back. We're doing more detective work than Batman did in The Dark Knight, the Nolan trilogy. At least we're doing something well there. We're doing more detective work, and we discover that Ian Quinn is the one that bought the backhoe from that dude, and we learn that Ian Quinn brought him there to control gravitonium, which is the big thing this episode, the big the tech part of it. Um, and anyway, he takes him there to control it and use it for his advantage to gain more wealth, to get to become the most wealthy guy in the earth. Obviously, he's not. Tony Stark is, well, at least in this world, the MCU. Anyway, uh, Ian Quinn is like unmoral. When he does business, he doesn't have morals, but we find out he funds charity through his dirty work. Okay. Um. But uh, anyway, with that going on, uh, someone has to infiltrate the area since Malta. He built his base on the Republic of Malta. They have a giant shield, an electromagnetic shield, where if you cross it, touch it, you will get blown to shreds. And I literally mean that. Um, and there's tons of security, so we need an insider job. They're discussing that, and Sky volunteers. She gets through via Rising Tide back channel, and gets in to the place. So we get to see. This is a very much Sky centric episode. As far as her doing whatever. Uh, as we get into the area, as she infiltrates the area, gets into the party. She is doing very well for herself. It follows through the motions and everything like that. Engages Ian Quinn, who immediately knows who she is, and basically, while she's in there, she is kind of looks like a mole. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. They discovered that no one knew about Dr. Franklin's transportation, so there must have been a mole in Shield, or someone knew about it. Somebody knew about it. There's a mole in Shield. So we're thinking it's Sky when she gets caught trying to sneak around and get to take down the access the take down in the shield. Well, that's a bad pun. But anyway, as we see her do this, she moves along and she says Shield is listening. She holds up the that legit board, and as Quinn offers her a job, which was back at the party scene. But anyway, back in over the scene, we get to see Sky actually isn't betraying Shield, isn't the mole, because she gets down the gate and basically, yeah, you get to see it, everything like that. She gets down the Shield for Coulson and Ward, who get uh, into the into the base. Uh, Coulson goes to uh, console Dr. Franklin Hall, who is Gravitron, and this is his origin story. Um, Ward goes to help Sky, who he trained with earlier, and he told his secrets to. He said he came from a rough life, and we get to see another one of her. We also get to learn that Sky was an orphan. She is really the most believable character in the series. She's she's one of the most top three most important characters, but she's not the most believable character in the series, definitely, because she lived in a van, was a computer hacker, a nerd basically, and was an orphan, and she still looks that beautiful. But maybe natural beauty is a thing. Um, but well, maybe Shield helped her look better, but um, anyway, any along that lines, as Coulson goes, she has to defend herself from Ian Quinn, who is basically holds up a gun to her, and he disarms her, and he says, "Can you pull the trigger?" And she says, "Nope," and jumps into the water as um there was a little bit of an engagement. Coulson and Dr. Franklin Hall. Dr. Franklin Hall, we'll find out via Melinda May that he was the one that sent out leaked the travel plans for Shield, transferring him from facility to facility, and that he did want to be there. He was getting Quinn. They went to college together. Quinn, so he could destroy it and bring down Republic of Malta. Coulson obviously can't let him do that, so he tries to shut off the power. Well, anyway, we see the room shifting around. Graviton is known for his gravity powers. He owned up in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He pulled up Manhattan from the ground, and so we basically have that whole series going on there, and basically uh, Hall explains that he wanted to stop the power, stop Quinn's madness, bad business practices, and future generations. He says, "Oh, the Republic of Malta won't matter." He thinks, since he's a villain, he thinks he's doing a good for the better of the people, but he is and he is not, because he would destroy the Republic of Malta, which is a isolated island. So um, he would kill quite a few people, and ultimately, he turns off the power. It doesn't stop. Like the room's shifting around at this point, and Hall's holding up a gun to Coulson. And anyway, he said he had to make a hard choice, and he decided to do this. They didn't to stop the graviton spit from spinning around, gravitonium core from spinning, to stop it. They needed a chemical reaction. And Coulson says, after Hall says had to make a hard decision. He decides to shoot the glass out from under them. Hall falls in and gets sucked into the core and is one of the most awesome scenes I've ever seen on TV. Gets swallowed by the gravitonium core, and the birth of Graviton is born. Graviton is born. And we have that whole thing. And he basically, after that event of that happening, Coulson has it put into the fridge, which we also ultimately know Graviton will break out of. Um, uh, Finding whatever goes on. Um, we get the little discussion scene and learn that Sky is an orphan after that, and basically we get all that story and learn about Sky and that she's becoming a better agent every day and all that, and that Schward, the couple, we're probably gonna get them being boyfriend and girlfriend here pretty soon in the series. And I know a lot of it's been obvious from uh, the beginning of, well, since episode 1. Um, Everyone knows that. And that's the end of it. Well, except for the post-credit scene. We know that there's going to be a post-credit scene after every episode. And this one's was them, basically the guy Coulson told to lock up the gravitonium core. Excuse me. Um, he told him as he locks up the core and leaves it unmarked. Um, as he leaves the vault, like the place it was put in, we see a shot of the gravitonium core, and we see a we see it just still, and then all of a sudden a hand comes out of it, a obvious hand. So we all know Graviton's gonna come back and own crap up later in the season, and or future, maybe season 2. Um, but that's the recap of the episode. Now on to the review. I have to say, this is my favorite episode so far. It was amazing. I just can't say enough about it. And Graviton's origin story, you get to see the origin story of Graviton. This is something unlike the series has done. This is what we're going to get in the series. And it does it perfectly. Yeah, for such a lifeless character as Graviton, he's not the biggest character. He's probably B or C. Well, he's C list at most. Well, he's B list sometimes, C list others. He's fought with Magneto. He was on Earth's Mightiest Heroes as the first villain. Like, he owned crap up. He should be so much more than he is. But this episode really makes us sympathize with him, um, and everything. But obviously, when he's gonna come out, he's gonna be mad at Coulson and wanting revenge on S.H.I.E.L.D. He's gonna be like, Coulson. Okay, that's my best revenge voice. He's gonna have a black beard. He's gonna have a Duck Dynasty beard, and he's gonna be coming out of the gravitonium, and he's gonna break out of Shield. I could see them moving him to the Triskelion, which is the underwater base. There's a rumor that we're gonna get that in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I think we're gonna get it. So yeah. Um, the great thing about this episode, we get more depth to Sky. She's been kind of lacking on depth. Been one of our three our main characters. Fitz and Simmons continue to get shoved to the back. Melinda May, we get to see her weird, odd discussion with Coulson, and where she mutters under her breath that he died, and um, there was like some off comment about, oh, I saw action with the Avengers, don't worry, and yeah, there was that whole thing. Um, but that whole scene, uh, yeah, I I'm okay with references to like the actual events in the MCU. Like if you don't I don't like name dropping Avengers every day. Um like if it's tech invented like Tony Stark or whatever, I'm okay with that. Or if it's about New York, because obviously this is the same universe. If it was in our world, it would get talked about daily on all the political sites. There'd be 5 articles a day, every day, like 15 articles a day if that happened in our world. So it would be talked about everywhere, and yeah, you get the point. The MCU is trying to take into account what the world would act like. So it would be referencing everything like that, since it's normal life for them. If it's not normal life for us, it's just a fictional world for us. But when I hear about the references problem, I don't get it. I don't get the complaints about that. Um, but overall, this was a really great episode. Best so far, definitely in my eyes. Um, Hopefully we get more book characters in the future, and to keep this series going. Anyone that's turned away from the show, please don't, please don't. It's yes, we have this uh, freak of the week type thing going on right now, but our overarching villains are going to be coming more relevant into the play in the towards the end of the season, and then season 2, everything like that. After Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier comes out, and Guardians of the Galaxy, all the impact of those. Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy isn't gonna make an impact, but we may get a cameo from Chris Pratt, who's a big TV dude, and he's playing Star Lord in the series. But overall, I would have to give this episode a 9 out of 10. But it is slightly better than it's better than the pilot. So it's better than the pilot and the second episode. The second episode was okay, but the Nick Fury cameo brought that up. But this episode is Gravitron. The special effects on this series are amazing, and just everything about. I really enjoy this series. I understand it's not some people's thing, but I watched The Walking Dead and this series for two differently entirely reasons. The Walking Dead, I go in there for drama and just looking at how a world would be impacted by a zombie apocalypse. And I look at this series and I say, this is enjoyment. This is my comic book dreams. This is what everyone wants. This is what my view from I would be so small for the to the superhero world. I'm nobody basically. Not a lot of people watch me on YouTube right now, but those of you that do, thank you. And but anyway, um, this has been S.H.I.E.L.D, and I'll